Wisconsin Laborers District Council, where you will earn great union wages, health care, and a pension. Learn why you are worth so much more by visiting liunawisconsin.org. L-I-U-N-A Wisconsin.org.
You've taught them, trained them, taken every precaution. But sometimes, despite your best efforts, someone gets hurt on the job. Because they're not perfect. They're people, and they're your people. At least you can keep them happy, healthy, and working with a workers' compensation policy from West Bend. It's how to give every problem a silver lining. West Bend, the worst brings out our best. To find out more, visit thesilverlining.com.
Covering the Crew all season long on WTMJ, it's Brewers Extra Innings. Now live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee at the Avenue. Here is your host, Dominic Cotroneo.
That's not how you want to open up a series. Brewers get shut out for the third time in their last 11 games after being the last team in the National League not to be shut out. 31 games without one, and now they have 3 in their last 11. 5-0 the final today in the opener against Cleveland. 2 steps back, 1 step forward. Now hopefully it's not 2 steps back again. After the Brewers lost the series in Tampa, they'll try to fit with the theme and win the next 2 games and have a 500 road trip and a 500 record by the time they come home. There's more bad news to report on the injury front. We'll get to that a little bit later on here in the program. And normally, we open up every program with our highlight recap. Normally there's enough to go off of, even after losses, that we can take you through the scenes of the game and what went down. The Brewers had a base runner in 8 of 9 innings today and could not plate a single one of them. So we're going to axe the highlights today. They went 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position. They left 11 runners on base. They walked 6 batters as a pitching staff. And of those 6 walks, 4 of them came in to score. That's the story of your ball game today. If it sounds a little frustrated, because I think I speak for a lot of fans when I say it is a frustrated tone, because now at 20-22, you're now looking at the Cardinals, who just beat a legit team in the Phillies. They're 4 games over 500. The Cubs are beating up on the Marlins like they're supposed to. They're about to be 6 games over 500. Oh, by the way, the Reds, they've been stop and go all season long. The Reds are the same record as you at 20-22, and the Pirates are the Pirates. They're in their own category. You blink, and you're going to be really chasing a long way home, because the only way into the playoffs is likely going to be winning this division. That being said, would you rather have a bad front 9 and then a good back 9? If we're talking golf, if we're talking one shred of optimism from all of this, that's kind of what you're up against, because a quarter of the season is a good amount of season to take data and understand what you need to do to it. That being said, find a way to win the series these next 2 games, and we'll talk about it with Craig Kishon in just a little bit. 855-616-1620 is the phone number. Again, 855-616-1620. That's Saudi Unlimited WTMJ talk and text line. And this is a game, too, that unfortunately overshadows the fact of a really cool milestone. Freddie Peralta reaches 1,000 strikeouts, the fastest Brewer ever to reach 1,000 strikeouts in his career. It took him just over 800 career innings. Of course, he does it on a changeup, not on a fastball. Take that for the people who assumed. He only had 4 strikeouts today in 5 1/3 innings. He allowed 4 runs. It was the first time he allowed more than 3 runs in a start this year. And we'll break down his outing and what went right, what went wrong, and quite frankly, the bullpen today didn't use the A relievers. There were some weird lines in this, right? Brian Hudson, an inning and 2/3, 4 strikeouts with 3 walks and a run scored. Elvis Peguero had a pair of strikeouts in his return to the big league roster. A good sign from him. All that being said, the Brewers' offense is the story once again, not being able to get, quote-unquote, the hit. And their offense with runners in scoring position has been anemic. They are now 3 for their last 31. With runners in scoring position. That goes back to Wednesday's loss against the Houston Astros. So all of this, we'll bottle it up. We'll break it all down as the Brewers fall in this one by a 5-0 score. And like we withheld judgment from the Tampa Bay series, granted the Brewers lost that series, we will do the same. We'll break down this game, and if they lose this series, it's time to look in the mirror to ask some really serious questions. But let's see if the Brewers can bounce back and take the next 2 games in the land. We'll take a break. Craig Kashan will be with us in just a little bit right here on your home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ.
Jake suffered with carpal tunnel syndrome.
Tingling, numbness in my hands and fingers, not sleeping well at night, tossing and turning, trying to manage with pain pills and stretching, and it just wasn't helping.
He didn't want the traditional invasive carpal tunnel surgery.
But I had seen people with bandages and scars and clubs for hands. I just don't have time to be incapable of doing things for 6 to 8 to 10 weeks.
Then he learned about the Ovation Hand Institute and the Ovation Technique, an ultra minimally invasive procedure done in the office.
I wanted to get it looked at sooner than later. So I had the virtual consult. It was very thorough as far as like I was sitting in a doctor's office. I was booked for the procedure 2 weeks later, had my right hand done. Very quick procedure. It was really great. That very night when I went home, it was the first time in probably 3 months my hand did not wake me up.
Book an appointment with the Ovation Hand Institute and find out if you're a candidate for the Ovation Technique.
Probably the most surprising thing was how quickly I was able to do things again. I'm cooking dinner, I'm doing yard work and all that kind of stuff the next day.
Visit ovationhand.com. ovationhand.com.
Hey there, Brewers fans. We've got a new way for you to watch the Brew Crew this season. FanDuel Sports Network. And now there are more ways to watch the Brewers than ever before. Subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network to stream all the action. Or, new this season, Brewers Baseball is now available on Amazon Prime Video as an add-on subscription. You can also access FanDuel Sports Network through TV providers, including DirecTV, Spectrum, Xfinity, Fubo, and more. Visit GetMyHomeTeams.com to learn more.
Hi, I'm Eric Brown, owner of Outdoor Living Unlimited. Outdoor Living Unlimited is Wisconsin's #1 TimberTech decking installer. We install anything decks and more. Stop by Outdoor Living Unlimited showroom and visit OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Get your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval to buy at ACCUNET.com.
Who's looking for a better deal? Well, Cousin Sub's $10 meal deals just got better. Available online only. Order your 7.5-inch meal deal today and upgrade it with a large fountain beverage, large fry, regular shake, or regular Wisconsin cheese curds. Prices vary by item from $1 to $2 a piece. Make it better and make it your own way. Now that's a better deal. For further details or to order, go to cousinsubs.com or on the mobile app. Cousin Subs. We believe in better. Available online at participating locations only. Offer subject to change without notice.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
It's a loss 5-0 in the opener against the Guardians. I'm Dominic Cotroneo. Brewers Extra Innings all season long is brought to you by Fifth Third Bank. Hey, Milwaukee, looking for a banking partner that truly understands your business needs? Look no further than Fifth Third Bank. With a local team right here in Milwaukee, they know how to hit it out of the park every time. For 15 years, they've been serving our community with industry-specific expertise and local decision-making that helps your business thrive. Experience the unique commercial banking value only Fifth Third can deliver. Fifth Third Bank, National Association, member FDIC. Couple of texts that have rolled in here. This one from Doug. Well, this one was the worst one of the year yet. Well, there is a couple worse that I could come to mind. Too many left on base and an anemic offense again with no Quintana on Wednesdays could be a sweep. We'll talk about this with Quintana's news a little bit later on in the program, but Quintana is no longer pitching on Wednesday. It's a TBD, the undefeated TBD going on Wednesday. Ryan from Nashville, trying with every bone in my body to not hit the panic button. I'm trying to say that in like Ron Burgundy voice, keep our composure, glass case of emotion. Anyway, but it's been tough, man. Having men on base, 8 out of 9 innings, not getting the big hit, the scratch one across, it's unacceptable. Then to top it off, walking a run with the bases loaded for the second time in 3 games. So when do we hit the panic button? Well, Craig Kashan, I'm looking at that panic button. I'm not unlocking it. I don't believe the panic button should even be thought about in the month of May, but the closer you get to June and you're seeing the same mistakes over and over, and you just see a lack of an edge, the lack of the team that we saw a season ago. The Guardians did to the Brewers what the Brewers did to teams a season ago. They stole 5 bags today, even with the lead. They drew a ton of walks. They made every single one of those walks hurt. They had enough hard contact to make something out of it, even on a day where they did not hit a home run. And the moment that you make a mistake, they pounce and they make it really hurt. That is the formula for a Brewers win in 2024, and it's a formula for a Brewers loss because they're doing it to themselves in 2025.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it, the Guardians are stacked a little bit higher, to say the least, and to a little bit more than this lineup for Milwaukee here right now. And yeah, the mistakes keep happening. And the thing about it, Dom, is, I look at the mistake by Churio in the route that he ran, and I know that catch probability was at 95%. And I do not like to make excuses any more than anybody else who's been around this game for a long, long time. But I do know that he still needs to learn some things, and you can't just be put out there and be expected to be perfect, make a play that, the percentages say it's almost routine when maybe it's not. But the thing that I do know about this kid, you could see it on his face when those 3 runs scored and he didn't make that play. His face told you that'll never happen again. You just know it, because he has made mistakes at new spots in the past, like last year, and he's been able to rebound pretty quickly. And that was kind of, those things are eye openers to how great a player this guy is and his determination to succeed. So unfortunately, no, we don't want the mistakes to keep going. There's a laundry list of mistakes. That was obviously the biggest one tonight, but the whole offensive thing, they just don't have the horses. And I don't think they have the horses at AAA, because I think they would have been here by now. I'm not sure entirely what they're planning on that. And I don't know if they're in a position to make a trade at this point either. So I think we got to live with what we got here right now, and hope these guys figure out a way to first of all, get the ball out of the infield. It's not like they're striking out a lot. They're just not coming through with, a string of hits and clutch hits right now.
When I look at the Brewers, and specifically that play for Churio in center, that was the first real time, like on the defensive side of the ball, that I'm like, man, I'd really love to have Blake Perkins and Garrett Mitchell here right now, because that's a play both of them make in their sleep. And we could sit here and say, oh, youngest player in baseball, hasn't played a lot of big league center field. Those are all valid reasons, and I think when you look at Churio's start to his season, I think frustration is too strong of a word, but just sort of the feeling of, shouldn't there be a little bit more here? But then you remember, oh yeah, he's 21, like he's still the youngest player, but yet at the same time, that's a play he needs to make. Like, this is the big leagues, making a bad read on that ball can't happen. I know it's your first time playing center field in this ballpark, but earlier in the game, he had a ball kind of carry on him further than he thought, and he had to go to the warning track and was panicking, looking for the wall. He lost his steps, and you would think that, okay, you've already had one ball almost go over your head, but you're able to make the adjustment. So make the adjustment here in a big situation with 2 outs to understand I'm fast enough to get anything in front of me. And if anything, I play deep anyway, right? Churio is one of the guys that, in my opinion, this is my untrained eye, but I think it's a decently trained eye to say Churio is not comfortable going back on the baseball. And today we see him break laterally and then break back, realizing he made the misread and never took his eyes off the ball. And you're never going to catch up to a baseball staring at the ball over your shoulder. It's a 21-year-old mistake. But when you're 2 games under 500 and you're an offense that is struggling to perform, a 21-year-old mistake is harder to cover up when you're all of a sudden down 3-0 in a game where your offense hasn't done anything.
Yeah, I mean, any mistake is tough to cover up at this level. And when you're young and you gotta, if you're Pat Murphy and the staff and stuff, and even his teammates, you got to bite your tongue a little bit, unfortunately, because of the guy's age and inexperience out there. Now, look, as much as I saw Churio's face after he missed that one dom, and just giving me the feeling that, this is not going to happen again with this guy. But then, you see the face of Freddie Peralta. He sees the fly ball going to center field, and he puts his hand up because he knows it's going to be an out, and it isn't. Man, was he pissed off. A pitcher wants that play to be made when the play is supposed to be made. Now, did that have anything to do with him the rest of the game after that? To me, as this game went, that was just the big blow. And so teammates got to do what they can to help him out as much as possible, because he is a good teammate. There's no question about that. But, I agree with you. The play's got to be made. But, on the flip side, he's 21 years old, and there's no way he's going to get better unless he goes through what he went through today. And I will say this. I thought last year when they, in the outfield and trying to play any of the 3 outfield spots last year, he seemed to me he was definitely afraid of the wall. Right field wall at American Family Field's way different than the left field wall. And some guys just aren't wall guys, and it right away, and you just hope that they don't have to make plays out there. Tonight was the first time, and I agree with you on that initial fly ball that continued to sail towards the wall that he did make the catch on. Tonight was the first time this year that I've seen, dating all the way back to, maybe late July, August, that I thought that he played timidly out there tonight. And unfortunately, it cost the Brewers on that, bases loaded double.
Yeah, to set the scene there with 2 outs and the bases loaded, and Freddie's not absolved of guilt, and this either will break down that 4th inning for him in the next segment. But to have the bases loaded, 2 outs, and a fly ball to center that had a 95% catch probability according to StatCast, simply put, this is big leagues. Make the play. Churio knows that. The team knows that. Pat Murphy knows that. Nonetheless, he didn't make the play, but it doesn't matter because it could have been, a base hit, a single. The Brewers didn't score a run today. So we'll talk offense in a little bit, too. Freddie Peralta did get to 1,000 strikeouts today. That's a positive note. A text here from the line before we go to break asking why isn't Sal playing center field? Well, you want to have your better arm, your best arm of the outfield to be in right field because then that could hold guys from going first to third too often. Churio probably is the worst arm of the 3 guys that played the outfield today, and that's why they're not putting Churio in right field as opposed to center field. So I hope that clears that up. Take a breather, come back with more after this. Brewers fall 5-0. The text is 855-616-1620, 855-616-1620 on your home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ.
When you need commercial or residential plumbing service, you need it now. Call Quality. We have over a 60-year track record of taking care of people. And with over 60 vehicles ready to respond to your needs, we'll be there in a hurry, so you won't have to worry. This is Anthony Zaneski. For commercial or residential plumbing service, call Quality and get the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. At Quality, we offer the most respected brand names in heating and air conditioning. Armstrong and Carrier. It doesn't get any better. And our technicians are top-notch. I know, because I handpicked every one of them. They're vetted and thoroughly trained. Hey, they're the cream of the crop. And that's why our quality workmanship guarantee is the strongest in the business.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric.
For those with a warm weather fashion passion, try St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores because that's where you'll find a vast array of men's, women's, girls, and boys' warm weather apparel at the friendliest prices. So many choices and at such a value. You can fill the closet without draining your wallet. Shop warm weather fashions at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
We've all experienced that feeling of lacing up a brand new pair of shoes.
And for some reason, it always felt like new shoes made you run faster, jump higher, and of course, look better.
Yeah, it was almost magical.
A brand new set of tires on your car or truck will instantly give you that same magical feeling.
Courtney, I couldn't agree with you more. A new set of treads always makes your vehicle look better, but more importantly, allows you to stop faster and grip the road a whole lot better.
Which is necessary when the weather is bad and driving conditions are poor. You'll appreciate having the extra traction.
Remember, there isn't a tire brand on the planet we can't get.
Everything from Goodyear, Continental, and Kelly to Dunlop, General, and Pirelli. If we sell it, we install it.
Plus, every tire we sell automatically comes with free flat tire repair. So be safe, buckle up, and hey, always make sure you've got good tread on your tires. I'm Brett Matchke with Richlands. You're due for service.
Such a refreshing change, Richlands.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Brewers fall 5-0. Let's talk a little Freddie Peralta with Craig Kashan. I'm Dom Cotroneo. Freddie looked good those first 3 innings, man. 13 pitches a frame. He was getting ahead of hitters. Didn't have a 3-ball count the first time through the order. And then even had a really nice play by Bryce Terang to start off that tough 4th inning. I mean, all this happening with 1 and 2 outs was really the worst part of it for Freddie. Overall, it's a start that if you have an offense that's able to support you, you don't bat an eye, because the guys that beat you, Jose Ramirez made it tough on everybody tonight. Carlos Santana had a great at-bat too, but then, didn't allow a ton of hard contact aside from the double that, again, should have been caught. But at the same time, like, Freddie with the walks and the long pitch counts, and it's just, you blink and he's not able to get out of the 6th inning.
Exactly. And I know that the play we've been talking about obviously was huge, not in this guy's favor, that's for sure. But, the 3 walks, and look, he let Jose Ramirez, run free out there, like he was a kid in a candy store again. I mean, that was perplexing to me. And you know what? I look at that. I mean, Jose Ramirez set up the 4th inning. There was an out, and he gets a single and steals 2nd and 3rd. And all of a sudden now, all the pressure that he puts not only on the pitcher but Contreras, you could just tell watching this there was a lot of tension brewing. But that's what a guy like Jose Ramirez does. That's what a base stealer does. That's what a guy who's aggressive and wants to get in your head does. And I think he did that. So, kudos to him. He's one of the best in the game. He did his job. But, the free passes tonight by Freddie, and, then all of a sudden now you're playing, a razor thin with what you can do. And if a play's not made, then all of a sudden it's almost like game over. Freddie pitched okay. But certainly we're hoping for something different than the walks. The walks this year, just overall, Dom, have been incredibly frustrating by this staff really as a whole. It's been just too much.
When the 2 at-bats that I have circled in my score sheet today that I'm assured Freddie Peralta is most annoyed with are, number 1, in the 4th inning, with 2 outs after striking out Kyle Manzardo on 3 pitches, to then turn around and walk Bo Naylor on 4 to extend that inning. That's something that can't happen from an ace, and he knows that. And the second one was in the 6th inning, getting ahead of Jose Ramirez when this game was still 3-0, getting ahead of Jose Ramirez 0-2, and then tip your cap, but at the same time, a 9-pitch later walk after being ahead 0-2. And then a great dirt ball read by J-Ram, and then he steals 3rd for the second time. He stole 3 bases today, all off of Freddie Peralta. He caught onto something in his kick, and something, I don't know what it was. He did some tape studying or what, but he stole those on Freddie. He didn't steal those on William Contreras, who somebody texted in, doesn't even know who the catcher was. Buddy, the catcher was the leader in baseball in runners caught stealing this season. So if you don't know who the catcher is, don't text in. But at the same time, it's the pitcher is who they're stealing on. William can't throw everybody out. It's the first time they allowed more than 3 stolen bases in a game. Those are the 2 at-bats that I circle that, like, Freddie knows. Those are 2 walks that just are the walks that are the difference between completing 6 innings and maybe working into the 7th and not being able to finish the 6th inning.
Right. I mean, look, if anybody thinks it's all on the catcher, it is not. I mean, and look, this Brewer team, over the years has done an incredible job of working on this and tightening the gap with steal probabilities and whatnot. And tonight certainly did not work. That's for sure. I think we saw it in a game in Tampa too, late in the innings. I can't remember off the top of my head who it was, but it was it was when McGill came in. Same situation there. Stolen base ends up leading to the walk-off. So you got to do your job on the mound. Some guys are better than others at doing that. And I'm sure we all agree that Freddie is, generally, in that upper class of making sure guys don't steal a lot of bases on him. But tonight it was way, way different. And, the guy who did it, you tip your cap. He did a great job. You tip your cap to the point of he's very good at base stealing. Let's face it, he's just one of the best that's ever lived doing it. And, he put on a show tonight. There's no question about that. And Freddie was the victim, man.
Yeah, I agree. Real quick, a question about Brian Hudson getting into this game. Remember, Hudson was called up for the weekend against the Rays and this road trip, given how many left-handed hitters both the Rays and the Guardians feature. But mind you, Hudson didn't get into a game against the Rays for part of the reason we saw today. The issue still with the command. It was encouraging to see 4 strikeouts out of him, but not encouraging to see another bases-loaded walk from Brian Hudson. And a reminder that he's here for the roster spot after the Brewers optioned Elvin Rodriguez after Wednesday's game against the Astros. So if you want to rank the 8 spots in the bullpen, Hudson's probably toward that bottom half and, quite frankly, probably at the number 8 in the trust circle right now. And days like today aren't helping him trying to reestablish his footing in the big leagues, not being able to locate that slider for a strike, and that was what really hammered it home in the at-bat against Carlos Santana. You know, he got ahead 2-2, then bounced back-to-back sliders, not being able to put them away with 2 outs and walks in a run. I feel for Brian Hudson right now, man, because you can still see there's talent in that arm, but he has not a lot of consistency right now, and he's fighting through it, trying to understand it, and quite frankly, he might be, on the way to be optioned again here shortly back to Nashville.
Yeah, I'd almost expect that to happen for sure, Dom. And it is too bad. He was he good a year ago or what before, maybe just got the tired arm there at the very end of the season. But he does not look right out there. Let's just put it that way. And, I can't break down pitching probably as good as you can, certainly. But I know when a guy is throwing versus pitching, and he was throwing a lot today. He was just hoping, I think, and almost aiming, if you will. And it didn't seem right. And whatever was happening and whatever his mechanics have fallen down to here at this point, and the lack of command, you just can't put him back out there. And, you're hoping you're in games now. We gotta get this thing turned around, but they've got probably to make a move. I think you're right.
Given the fact that now on the pitching front, we learned before the game today that Brandon Woodruff is going back on the IL with an ankle issue, ankle inflammation in his right ankle, which is the push-off ankle. And then also Jose Quintana has a barky elbow, but they expect him to make his start on Friday against the Twins. And if you're getting ahead of yourself and thinking, is this the Brewers doing roster manipulation? No, Pat Murphy made that extremely clear today in his pregame availability that this also was part of the reason why it was a short outing on Sunday. That wasn't revealed at the time by the Brewers about Woodruff's ankle, so they're placing him back on the injured list, but he's not allowed to do another rehab outing for another 7 days. Now, if this one should be a lot shorter than, of course, the shoulder, and the velo was down to, for Woodruff's sake, get it right the first time, all right? Take the time to get it right. Make sure that ankle is okay, because the last thing the Brewers want to do is have him come up, make 2 starts, see the velo dip, hear about the ankle, and send him right back on the injured list. Get it right the first time, and the Brewers are trying to do that.
There are 2 things. I am still hopeful that the Brewers season will be turned around, and there's so much left for that to happen. And if it does, I still believe that Brandon Woodruff is going to have a big part of that. Now, it could be they start turning it around and they become highly competitive again, and then he's healthy and comes back and they have a great run. I mean, that's what has to be one of the scenarios for this team here right now. There's no reason to rush him back. I mean, we're preaching to the choir here. I think everybody should understand that. I mean, it's been a long time. I get it. And when you get up to the very end of the, working your way back and whatnot, you just still got to get it right. And these things pop up. So something popped up, get it fixed and take your time getting them back.
Yeah, I agree entirely. Let's take one quick break, and then we come back. I want to keep you real quick, Craig, talk a little offense, and a guy that I think should get a little more playing time moving forward. 855-616-1620, 855-616-1620 on your home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ.
Tune in to Wisconsin's Midday News with Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
Milwaukee's abandoned boat is finally out of the water. Assume they'll deconstruct this thing. They might crush it. I don't know what the end result is for Deep Thought. Kind of feel like some of it needs to go in a museum somewhere, but that's just me.
Bringing you the latest in news, sports, traffic, and weather.
We all know the saying, April showers bring May flowers, but here we're in May, so what do May showers bring?
Every weekday from noon until 3 p.m. Only on WTMJ.
Amish outdoor furniture with poly and wood available. And that poly is the richest of outdoor furniture. It's just about indestructible and will virtually last forever. At Erickson's, we have poly furniture in abundance, so you're guaranteed to see a great selection. The beauty of it is you can put it outside all year round and not worry about it, because the color runs all the way through, so it doesn't fade, and minor nicks and scratches won't hurt the look. Erickson's Landscape Supply. For an abundant selection of poly and wood Amish outdoor furniture, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection. You'll be hard-pressed to find a better selection of metal yard art than we have here at Erickson's. Anything from natural and painted metal signs to painted roosters from 1 to 6 feet tall. Natural steel flying ducks and cattails. Cute little frogs, geckos, pigs, flamingos, and goats. And palm trees. The list is endless. And that's why you come here. Erickson's Landscape Supply, right on Spring Street in Union Grove, where you'll find a fantastic array of artisanal metal yard art. Visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection. Or better yet, drive on over and take a gander at the goods.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Brewers fall 5-0. Opener of the 3-game set in Cleveland. Brewers Extra Innings brought to you in part by Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical. Summer's coming fast. Are you ready? Get a new air conditioning system from Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical. And with $0 down, no payments, and 0% interest for 9 months. And you can save $1,500. Book your appointment today at cider.com. That's SEIDER.com. When I say the name Jake Bauers, you think what, Mr. Craig Kashan?
That he needs to keep playing, Dom. Keep playing him. Keep putting him in the lineup. Let him face lefties. Let him face righties. Let him face underhand pitching. Let him in the lineup. You got to keep your hot guys in, man. You got to keep your hot guys in. He's been doing a terrific job, and we need more right now. Look, one guy can be your igniter, your catalyst to get things going. So say, let's go, bring him in.
Fully aware he had a slow start to the season, but ever since the good stretch began in San Francisco, this stretch includes some games off the bench, so keep this in mind. But over his last 13 games, it spans 38 plate appearances, so roughly 3 per game, right? He's hitting .353, 12 for 34, 2 doubles, 2 homers. There are strikeouts in there. I will put my hand up on that, about a 33% strikeout rate. But he's on base over 400% of the time. He can draw a walk. He can hit a ball hard. He can hit a home run. You know, him playing a serviceable left field has been huge for the Brewers while Yelly continues to be the all-time designated hitter. But Jake Bauers was the only guy with multiple hits today. He's had a solid road trip. I don't see a reason to platoon him. I don't see a reason to take him out every time. I want to see a little bit more of Jake Bauers.
Yeah, I agree. I was frustrated the other day. I think it was Saturday when he started and had, at least a hit, maybe 2. I can't remember off the top of my head. And then he was pinch hit for because of the pitching matchup on the mound late in the game. And I'm like, come on, man, you're better off letting him give it a try. He's seeing the ball well. So, again, you just got to keep guys like that in. The Hoskins batting ahead of him, the Hoskins-Bauers punch has been, pretty good. So you need to continue to look for, scenarios where you can get guys to, get on base and have the next guy, potentially bring him in. I mean, they're desperate right now. I think we all understand that, but they still have a lot of capable guys that are still in this lineup that can get it going. And you got to keep a hot bat like that in there. There's no reason not to, Dom. No one else has done anything noteworthy at this point. God bless them all, but it just hasn't been the case trying to fill these spots with all the injuries they have in that outfield.
I agree. This good question from Chris in Pewaukee on the text line. Do you know why Terang swapped with Frelick in the lineup? Just a shake-up, try to jumpstart the offense? Exactly that. Terang had been 0-for prior to today getting a knock. 0-for in the month of in the last couple of days, and of course he had the illness. He didn't quite recover well from that. It took him a little while. He's back to 100% now, but he has been off to a slow start here in the month of May. So they did a little switcheroo, try to get Frelick up there. But this whole team, Craig, in the month of May could use a boost, could use a 12-run game, could use something that makes them believe their offense is doing A-OK, right? Because I'm looking up and down the split in the month of May, and the Brewers, there's a lot of ones that begin these batting averages, right? Like Terang, 192, Yelly, 184, Isaac Collins cooled off, William Contreras, 143, Sal Frelick, 125, Joey, Durbin. I mean, Durbin, he's in a 2 for 16 in the month of May. It's a collective. You can easily point at one guy. People tend to point to the guy that makes the most money. I understand that. That's part of the gig. This is top to bottom. Aside from Jake Bowers, who we just pointed out, and Rhys Hoskins, who continues to get on base, this is top to bottom. The offense needs improvement.
It does. And here's the thing from my side. I don't see any reason. Now, Joey Ortiz didn't play tonight. Now, he had the night off, didn't appear late for pinch hitting or anything. I don't see any reason why they necessarily have to let him sit for 2 games. Monasterio did a great job today, drew a couple of walks, fielded position out at shortstop just fine. Maybe Monasterio can play third and Durbin can go over to short for a night, or Durbin can have a night off. And I think like a guy like Monasterio, who was called up last week, he could be another spark guy. He's got some success at this level, let's face it. And his attitude's pretty carefree and let's go get him. So maybe they need something like that right now. Same thing with Jake Bowers that we talked about. Just maybe keep some guys in there who are finding ways to get on base, and then somebody's going to bring them home eventually. This drought they're in is not going to last forever. We know that. And I agree with you, man. If they can put up a big offensive game, hopefully they can just, feed off of that for the next time around.
And as Brian and Tosa points out on the text line, they're facing a lefty tomorrow, and we all know what that means, right, Craig?
Yeah, come on now, forget it. Let's abandon ship on that plan and keep your hot bats in there. That's me being manager tonight.
All right. Well, the Brewers are a 500 team in a lot of stats, and including against left-handed starters, they are 7-7. Lori, I see you on the line. I'll get to you on the other side of this break. Craig, I appreciate you as always. We'll talk again tomorrow.
All right, sounds good, Dom.
All right, back with more after this. I'll get to you, Lori. I got a lot of texts I got to catch up on as well. 855-616-1620 on your home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ.
Your nose is for breathing. Your mouth is for eating. And if you're breathing through your mouth, it's not because your body wants to. It's because it has to, because your nose isn't working properly. And although you've lived like this, it's no way to live, and it's having a significant impact on your life. I know you know this, and I know that taking action isn't always convenient. But at Advent, we've done all we can to make changing your life for the better as easy as possible. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula. With tens of thousands of our patients, a thorough breathing triangle evaluation, along with a simple 20-minute in-office procedure called balloon sinuplasty, has opened their nasal passages, allowing them to breathe freely through their nose for good. And there's a good chance this procedure can do the same for you. We'll help you breathe through your nose again, and it will change your life.
Go to AdventKnows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Most insurance accepted.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for QC Kinetics. For more than 8 years, QC Kinetics has been the nation's leader in non-surgical relief for joint pain. You heard that right. Non-surgical relief. More than 50,000 patients who had knee pain, back pain, now living pain-free. Those with shoulder and hip pain, it's gone. The regenerative cell therapy restores tissues in your achy joints. Dr. Caravelli's team uses biologic growth factors with robust healing properties carefully and strategically placed in your joint. And there's no surgery. Remember that. It's a powerful and potent way to give your joints new life, repairing the old tissue. Here's what you do. You call today, 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474. Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation. 414-285-3474. Call QC Kinetics today.
Hi, I'm Eric Brown, owner of Siding Unlimited, reminding you to double check your home. Siding Unlimited is the proven exteriors professionals for 31 years. Family owned and locally operated right here in Wisconsin. Call Siding Unlimited and visit sidingunlimited.com.
Active Liver is the easy way to get a daily detox to keep you healthy and feeling your best. Find Active Liver at your local CVS or online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Welcome back. Tom Cotroneo now. We're going till a little below the bottom of the hour, perhaps. We'll see how long we take here. I'm Dom Cotroneo. I just said that. Yeah, it's another shutout. My brain's mush right now. So I'll go to the phone lines, 855-616-1620. Lori and Franklin, you're live here on Brewers Extra Innings.
Hello.
Hi, Lori. How are you?
Hello? Great. I'm a
Lori,
huge Brewers fan, and I love watching the game. And it's frustrating on my part to hear you guys always using the excuse of Cheerio's young. He's the youngest player, whatever. He's got the experience. He's out there. Is it the coaching then that shouldn't be placing him in center field? Maybe having him stay in the right or left field where he does excel and have Sal play center? Just wondering.
It's a good question. I addressed it a little bit earlier in the program, but the reason why the Brewers are preferring to put Chourio in center for now as opposed to Sal is because when they put Chourio in right field, traditionally what you do is you want to have your best outfield arm in right field. And maybe one of the biggest Achilles about Chourio's defense is that he does not have a very good throwing arm. And we've seen that over and over of teams taking advantage in him on sac flies. So the thinking on that is there are more common sac flies hit to left and right field than there are to center field because you're naturally playing deeper, which means you have better arms in the corners, which give you the opportunity to throw home on that regard. And Sal has the best arm of the three of them, which is why they're putting him in right field. On the youth part, it's a fact. He is the youngest player in Major League Baseball this season. But we say that from an area, in the words of Pat Murphy, of love and discipline. I think both Craig and I said umpteenth times, he needs to make that play. 100%. He needs to make that play. But at the same time, he's 21 years old, and when you're relying on a 21-year-old who hasn't played a lot of big league center field, mistakes are going to happen. And they're going to be frustrating mistakes that are part of growing pains on a team that should be competitive in the big leagues this season. Chourio knows he needs to make that play. Freddie knows he needs to make that play. Pat Murphy knows he needs to make that play. And he didn't make the play. But we're just explaining the fact that, reminder, this is a 21-year-old we're talking about, not about a guy that has a gold glove reputation like Blake Perkins and Garrett Mitchell do, and that's the sort of thing. So I hope that clears up your questions there, Lori. I do appreciate you listening and watching the Brewers all season long. A couple of texts here that I'm behind on as well, again from our friend Brian and Tosa. Ugly loss. Any way you dissect it, the pitching staff issued too many walks. We allowed 5 stolen bases, 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position, 12 left on, only 1 runner got to third. Defensive mistake leads to 3 runs. Cleveland used the same formula as us to win tonight. I agree. Yeah, the win tonight thing. And this is a quote from Pat Murphy you'll hear in the next segment as well. That the fact that the Brewers just aren't playing with an edge, they aren't playing loose, they aren't playing well. And I personally think, this is me talking, the fact that all of this sort of avalanche of, oh my gosh, panic button, what's wrong, what's going on, what's happening, oh my gosh. There are a lot of teams, I'm not trying to move the goalposts, there are a lot of teams that being 2 games under 500 in May is like, all right, well, it's a slow start, figure it out. The standard is so much higher than it ever has been for the Brewers, and I said this in opening weekend, and I'll say it again here today. There's a small fraction of people that are almost rooting for it to fail because they want to feel like they're right. They want to be early on it. Want to be early on the teams. Like, yeah, I gave up on this team in May. I told you should have been. Like, what? That's not what this is about, man. Like, Cool, man. You were right. So what do you get out of that? You get a gold star? Cool. Go get yourself one from Walgreens or something. But the point of all of this is to say the standard is higher than the Brewers have played to this point in the season. And Pat Murphy has made that very clear in the media. None of them are happy with being 2 games under 500, nor should they be, because the expectations and the standard were higher than that coming into the year. All that being said, it feels as though people want to keep bringing up Willy Adames. It's the truth. But hey, they've known Willy Adames wasn't returning the entire calendar year of 2025. Okay, this isn't breaking news that Willie isn't here. So we can talk about not having a leader, not having an edge, not having whatever is missing from the Willy Adames-sized void of 30-plus homers, 120-plus runs batted in. The guys in that clubhouse are the ones that are going to have to figure this out. Because as Craig Kashan alluded to, you look at the AAA roster, and there's not exactly a ton of guys tearing the cover off the ball there, aside from Daz Cameron, who had the hottest 11 games anybody had in AAA, and now he's been put in the cooler at the big league level because Bowers has been playing well. They need Sal and Churio to play every day, so Daz gets put in the cooler here as the 4th outfielder. But nonetheless, it's not like there's a 40-man guy in AAA that's tearing the cover off the ball that you're excited to be coming up here, and that's with respect to those guys down there. But nobody has more than 7 homers, and that's the backup catcher Jorge Alfaro, who has a ton of big league time, so it makes sense for him to be down there tearing the cover off the ball. But by the way, he has 50 strikeouts and 134 plate appearances. So nothing is perfect. This is how baseball works. You have to roll with the hand that you're dealt, or try to steal from someone else's hand and try to make a trade, try to make something happen. I know Matt Arnold is making these calls and is trying to be proactive about this like we've seen him do in the past. That being said, I was trying to take a lap around the leaderboards and hard hit stuff. Who are the under-the-radar guys that could be extended or signed or brought in or traded for? It's just, there's not going to be a lot of offense available as things stand right now at this trade deadline unless something moves between now and the next 2 months, which in all likelihood could happen. I'm sitting here as a radio guy who is going to watch every single game this entire season. I'm going to be with you for 140 or so of these post-game shows this season. Hey, it's May 12th. 42 games in. They got 120 more of these. And we'll have a better view of this team. Like I said, I'm going to look at it at game 66 is when I'm looking at it and say, okay, here's what we need to do. That's after the Padres series the first week of June, and let's assess things then. Because the Brewers can still win this series, can get back to 500 on this road trip and this season. Is it likely? No. But is it doable? Yeah. This team is capable of doing it. The standard is high for a reason because this is what they have. They've known this is what they're going to have for a while. They have not played with that edge, with that win tonight mentality. When they were down 3-0, you didn't see it. You know what needs to be fixed. Who's going to be the guy to fix it? That's the big question right now. You've heard me talk plenty. We'll hear from the manager, Pat Murphy, coming up next. Brewers fall 5-0 here on 620 WTMJ.
Welcome back to Ask Hassleus. I'm Weston. What's your question?
Yeah, when you say your Hassleus mattress showrooms are employee-free, you don't really mean it, right?
Of course we mean it. No employees. Give the mattresses a try with no pushy sales guy.
Why no employees?
To save you money.
How much money?
Well, others sell a Beauty Sleep by Beauty Rest Elm Cove B Queen for $16.59, but the everyday Hassleus price is just $8.42.
Whoa, Nelly.
We also have way low pricing on our selection of Sealy Posturepedic and more.
Well, that's pretty good.
And through Monday, purchase a select Beauty Rest or Sealy Posturepedic mattress in any size and receive a free adjustable base.
That's exceptionally good.
Plus, free next day delivery, removal and setup of your new mattress, and free financing is available too.
All because your showrooms are employee-free?
Yes, sir.
I like the way you do business.
Get a free adjustable base now through Monday at Hassleus Mattress. Open 9 to 9. Get all the details and find the self-service employee-free showroom near you at hassleus.com.
Discover an unreal treasure this May at Potawatomi. Don't miss your chance to win a share of $300,000 in cash and prizes. Just play with your rewards card for entries. Prize drawings on Thursdays. Unreal treasures this May at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. Your win is waiting. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
UW-Madison is one of the country's leading hubs for supporting life-changing research and building a skilled workforce. An investment in UW-Madison helps make a healthier Wisconsin, build strong businesses, and win the war for workforce talent, not just at Madison, but across our entire state. Visit uwalumni.com/UW5 to tell your legislators to support UW-Madison in the Wisconsin state budget. That's uwalumni.com/UW5. Paid for by the Wisconsin Alumni Association.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. Can't leave him alone for a 12.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts. This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
All right. It's a frustrating loss. Loving the passion tonight. Appreciate everyone who's reached out. Jeff from Elkhorn. The Brewers lineup seems to be missing a 30-homer player at shortstop. Yeah. Certainly do. Trying to figure all of this out. 42 games into the season. If hitting was that easy, everybody would do it. But the Brewers are rolling with this roster for the time being and trying to find the right combination and the right sort of mentality to say this is how you're going to quote-unquote win tonight, in the words of Pat Murphy. The play of the game is easily Freddie Peralta, earning his 1,000th strikeout of his career, so congratulations to Freddie once again in that regard. Fastest Brewers pitcher ever to reach 1,000 strikeouts for his career, 804 and 2/3 innings. For Freddie, he got Daniel Schneemann to end the 5th. It's brought to you by Surfside, a proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Surfside iced tea and vodka, and Surfside lemonade and vodka, paired perfectly with the day at the ballpark. Stocked at American Family Field all season long. Let's go ahead and hear from the manager, Pat Murphy, after today's 5-0 loss.
Yeah, we left 11 guys on base. I guess that's not a sign of a good game, but we just didn't come up with a big hit today. That was discouraging. The break with the kid getting hurt, I hope he's all right, but the break, I think, hurt Freddie a little bit. He had to wait a long time for the next kid to get ready, and that broke up the game a little bit. It broke his rhythm, but the catch in center field, you got to make that catch. That's something. That's a play that Jackson wishes he had back. He knows that's a catchable ball, and that changes the game.
Did he offer any explanation or just miss it?
I mean, he was going backwards. He was going back towards the wall. So I didn't ask him about it. He felt bad enough about it. But that's a. I'm not saying it's routine, but it's a catch.
What have you thought about the way he's looked in center field overall in the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, there's a reason he wasn't in center field before that. He's definitely capable. And he's done some really nice things, but we've got two center fielders down, and a Gold Glove right fielder who has played bunches of center, but it helps us lineup wise if he plays center. And some people think he's a center fielder, and regardless, he's a really good player. He's going to be a great player, and mistakes like this or plays like this that he doesn't make, he'll learn from. And we're all kind of for us struggling bad. Some teams would be with our situation. Some teams might be satisfied being in the hunt. But we're not playing well, and we're not disciplined as we should be. As disciplined as we should be, we're not as free as we should be. And we've got a lot of excuses if you want them. Injuries and all sorts of youth and injuries and blah 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 blah. But the bottom line is we haven't found that edge that made us was a difference maker for us last year. So we're all responsible, and we'll take that responsibility.
That break aside and maybe breaking up his game, what did you think of Freddie's?
I thought Freddie pitched well. He pitched really well. He should feel great about his outing tonight. The 2 walks, and I guess he walked 3 overall. One was kind of half purposeful before the fly ball, and then Freddie facing 8 lefties, and it's not an easy lineup to navigate that way. But he did a great job. And then the walk to Santana, he'd like to have back, but he did a really good job. And then the kid gets a blue hit with the infield drawn in. He's got to do a better job of holding runners there. That was on Freddie. They read Freddie pretty good there. So other than that, I thought he pitched really well enough to beat anybody.
I don't disagree with any of that from Murph about Freddie today, but like we pointed out, the 4-pitch walk to Bo Naylor is one that he's going to regret and look back on. That there were a couple of non-competitive pitches in there too, and not trying to take anything away from Bo Naylor, but nonetheless, the ball needs to be caught in center. Freddie shouldn't have a 4-pitch walk with 2 outs, and this game's a little bit tighter into the 6th inning, and who knows what could happen there. The offense is still the story tonight. When you don't score a run, it's always going to be the story. I mean, you could have lost this game 1-0 with the way that the Brewers offense was going today and how they've been going in the month of May. So all that is to say that with a lefty on the mound tomorrow, does Monasterio get a second consecutive start? Does Durbin stay in the lineup? Does Terang stay in the lineup? Does Frelick stay in the lineup? Does Bauer stay in the lineup? We just requested it, right? We just talked about all these things, but the minor adjustments from game to game without hitting the panic button, without shifting it, because we just told you there's not exactly a lot on the way in AAA right now. But the Brewers still have a very talented team. I think that's the underlying thought of all this is they haven't played to their potential. Some folks may think, well, this is a team that doesn't hit home runs. Right, they knew that by design. But when you're not hitting doubles and when you're not stealing bases and when you're not being able to hit the ball hard, regardless of hitting the ball over the fence or not, we've talked about Williams' broken finger and whether or not that's a decision to put him on the IL to try to heal it up and that could help his offense. Perhaps. I think that conversation should get a little bit more serious as the days move on. Yelly continues to be somebody that the Brewers, they see a contribution from him for a day, and then another day goes by where it's just like, oh, man, he just missed that one, or he just missed that one, right? Like, he hits a double, he hits a rocket into right center. Loved that in the first inning. And then the pop out in the third, he just missed it. You could see it on his face how frustrated he was to miss that pitch. And I was looking a little bit deeper at Yelly's Baseball Savant today and just what's going on with him. Why has the offense come and gone for him so far this year? I mean, he's always been a guy that wasn't afraid to swing, but he is swinging and missing a little bit more this year than years past, right? His whiff rate is up to 32%. That's 9 points higher than it was last season. Granted, he normally hovers around the 24 to 28%, which is just about league average. But I look back at 2020, right? So he misses the end of 2019. Granted, only a couple of weeks. And then comes back in 2020. Weird year, had a 34% whiff rate in 2020. Then he cut that down by 9 points in 2021. And it had slowly climbed. Then it cut back down last season. Then a shorter season for him with the surgery. And now it's back up to 32%. That's one way that you could try to get things going. And two for Yelly, with the breaking balls in particular, that's where the whiff is really all coming from. 44% swing and miss rate on the breaking balls this season. And yet he's still seeing more fastballs than he's seen in quite a while. 60% fastballs to go with 32% breaking balls. And today his strikeout was looking on a cutter. So for Yelly, if you can create some opposite field contact, because that's the last point in all of this, he hits an opposite field home run in Tampa. Maybe that unlocks him, because right now, Yelly has the lowest opposite field rate of his career, 19%, which is just a number to a lot of people. But that's 6 points below league average when he's always been a guy that's been above league average when it comes to hitting the ball to the opposite field. So those are the three areas that I'm looking at. Less swing and miss, specifically on the breaking ball, and hitting the ball to the opposite field. Maybe that can help him get going in the right track, because he's never been a guy that's pulled the ball with freakish authority, right? The 1 year that he was a close to league average pulling the ball with authority was 2019. Even in 2018, even in the MVP year, he pulled the ball in the air only 10% of the time. So he can be successful without pulling the ball in the air. It's a matter of being able to balance it with the other stuff, like hitting the ball to the opposite field, being able to handle secondary pitches, and being able to understand how pitchers are attacking him right now, because it's a gaping hole between, and the fastball performance, to be fair, but it's a gaping gap with his performance on breaking balls this year, given he torched them a season ago. These things are cyclical. It's a long season, yada, yada. You've heard all that. You're sick of hearing that, but it's the truth. It's why we play 162 of them and not 42 of them. We'll get ready to wrap things up here in just a moment as the Brewers fall in this one 5-0 on your home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Baseball is back. Brian Balaga here to bring you a proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka and Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. A delicious and perfect pairing for a day at the ballpark. Stocked at American Family Field all season long. Surfside is only 100 calories per serving, and the best part, 0 bubbles. Ask for it at your local bar or liquor store. Surfside, an official partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Must be 21 years of age. Please drink responsibly.
Who doesn't need a seasonal wardrobe update? But who has the cash to always keep their wardrobe updated? Ladies, that's why you shop St. Vincent de Paul. Our women's clothing is always a highlight of our stores, and thrift store prices keep the costs low. It allows you to experiment and also find a hidden gem. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
Ooh, you're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Save big money on your next staining project right now at Menards. Pittsburgh's Ultra Advanced Semi-Transparent Exterior Stain and Sealant in 1 can be applied to damp wood, allowing you to clean the surface and stain in 1 day. Save big on Ultra Advanced Exterior Stain and Sealant. And don't forget to check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Hey there, Brewers fans. We've got a new way for you to watch the Brew Crew this season. FanDuel Sports Network. And now there are more ways to watch the Brewers than ever before. Subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network to stream all the action. Or, new this season, Brewers Baseball is now available on Amazon Prime Video as an add-on subscription. You can also access FanDuel Sports Network through TV providers, including DirecTV, Spectrum, Xfinity, Fubo, and more. Visit GetMyHomeTeams.com to learn more.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
All right, stew on this for a couple more hours, and then right back after it tomorrow. Quinn Priester gets the mound for the Crew against left-hander Logan Allen. Same time, same place, 5:10 first pitch. We're on the air at 5:35 with the On Deck Show. Then I've got you after the game tomorrow as well for Brewers Extra Innings. Wednesday, it's an early start, 12:10 Central Time. We're on the air at 11:35. No post-game show on Wednesday, but we will have Brewers Weekly Thursday on the off day. That will be at 8 o'clock. And tell your friends, Brewers All Access is where you can find all of these shows in podcast form. Appreciate all the text. Mark, Sam, Jeff, everybody, Brian, everybody. If I haven't said your name, I apologize. I missed it. Chris, we had a lot of text came in today, so I appreciate the passion. I appreciate the honesty. I try to address it. I'm not somebody that's going to go hide behind a tree whenever someone wants to be critical. I think of one of the best broadcasters to ever live, Marty Brenneman. He was real, man. He was straight up. And the way I kind of perform, the way I do this and talk to players and understand that, hey, man, this is, in the words of Murph, like, this is acting, right? We're all acting for something. And for a while, I didn't understand that. But at the same time, it's like, whenever I'm trying to critique and talk about a team, I always imagine that the player is sitting right across from me. And I wouldn't say anything I wouldn't say to him because, hey, everything's recorded these days. It can find its way to him. I got no problem with that. I understand. It's a hard game, man. Like, I don't have a job without these guys. It's the truth. But we love getting invested. We love getting excited when they win. We don't know how to feel when they lose because they haven't been losing very much over the last few years. Let's get a little bit larger sample size. I know you're sick of me saying that. 66 games is what I'm putting it as. Like, all right, let's assess this team with 100 or so games to go. But right now, Brewers can still win this series. So let's withhold judgment until the fat lady is singing. And she ain't singing yet. And I don't even think she's warming up. But I've been wrong before. Nonetheless, that is going to do it for us tonight. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. For our producer, Matt Yezel, and for Craig Kashan for helping us out as well, My name is Dominic Cotroneo. We'll talk to you tomorrow night. Until then, keep on swinging.
Over 60 years in business, with over 60 vehicles out in the field.